Well, thank you again so much for joining us. Would you mind, just to get us started, tell me a little bit about yourself, your name, your title, and your responsibilities?
Sure. My name is Amy Earle, and I am the program manager for college, career, and life readiness at Sarasota County Schools. And so I oversee our career advisors. We have one at every middle school and high school in our district, and we implement the SchooLinks scope and sequence alongside other college, career, and life readiness activities.
Perfect. Would you mind telling me a little bit more about Sarasota, like the location, the number of students, and how many schools you had again?
Sure. So we are in Southwest Florida. We're about an hour south of Tampa. We have 7 high schools and 8 middle schools. We have approximately 20,000 students on SchooLinks between the middle and high schools, and we have an additional about 20,000 in our elementary schools.
Big district.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about the support that you get from the SchooLinks team?
Sure. So the SchooLinks team and I have a very great relationship. If there's ever anything that I need from SchooLinks, I reach out to my customer success manager, Melanie, and she is always very quick to get back to me. If I have issues with WBL or any concerns, I make sure to reach out to them as well. And they're always very quick to answer my questions and kind of address my needs. The other aspect that I've used and I've asked a lot of my career advisors to also use is that chat function in SchooLinks. So if there's something that seems to be going wrong that's actually technical and not just a generic question, that goes through the chat, which is also a very nice feature to have.
I love it also. I've used it myself.
Yeah, like it's so quick and it's so easy, and you're like, okay, that's my answer. And honestly, sometimes I'll go into the chat just to make sure that I haven't missed a help article that I've already tried, because I always go to the help articles first. But if I can't find what I'm looking for, that the chat person can always find exactly what I need.
That's great. Are there any aspects of the product that you have found that are specifically game changing for Sarasota?
I think game changing in terms, yes. I mean, we had another platform that did college applications. However, the college application manager in SchooLinks, by and large, everyone says is so much easier and it's so much user friendly. And that's students, that's parents, that's teachers, that's counselors. Our district is now uploading our transcripts so that those can be sent via parchment. And even there, this is so easy. It's foolproof. And we love being able to pull reports of what teachers still haven't done their letters of recommendation, what teachers, what pieces of the application are not complete. That is a game changer, because now we can help the students be accountable and track their own applications. And that is huge.
That's fantastic. You mentioned you came from a previous platform. Can you talk about the transition from your previous solution and how it went?
So the transition was pretty easy. I mean, no one really wanted to use the previous platform. And so really it was about reteaching, no, this is not nearly as cumbersome. You don't have to log out or X out of the window to change screens within the platform. And so it was really about re-educating. And once teachers see exactly how to navigate in that demo as a student is so key, because you can quickly see okay, I know I see this. What do the students see? You can do that. And that, I think, has been so easy for teachers to buy in, because they're like, okay, I know exactly. They can go and demo as a student, make their PowerPoint for the day. Our career advisors also do that for the schools. And they're like, okay, when you log in, click here, because they can demo literally as the student. And that makes it so much easier to be able to see that student side, because that was never an option on our previous platform.
Just that accessibility then is
Yes.
Just so convenient.
Yes.
Yeah. What advice would you have for other districts who are considering moving over to SchooLinks?
I would say you need to get some of your veteran teachers and counselors to be able to demo SchooLinks with you, because they need to be able to see the ease of use, because whatever else you're using, this makes it so much easier and it's user friendly. And these learners now, they want things that are tactile. They want to be able to do it on their phone. And when you can show them that all of these things are possible and it's not a separate app, you don't have to go to the app store, you can just log in from your browser, that makes a huge difference.
That's great. Thank you. What kind of initially led you to look for another CCR platform?
So we, as a district, we looked at 12 platforms, actually. So we had a list of things, a wish list of things, knowing that we weren't going to get everything, but which one fit the mold. And it was things like career exploration and in being able to track WBL, also having learning modules that we didn't have to self-create and self-publish. So really, SchooLinks checked the most boxes, and it allowed us to keep our existing model of there's content for middle schoolers, but there's also content for high schoolers, and there's room to grow and customize. And that was huge for us without having the heavy burden of we also have to create content, because a lot of platforms now, you create your own content and upload it, and then it's much harder to track that way and know what's being completed with what level of fidelity. And SchooLinks was really kind of the pinnacle, and anything that we've wanted that wasn't on our list, we have contracted to kind of build out with SchooLinks, and they've been happy to work with us on that.
That's fantastic. Thank you. We know that in Florida, Zello is a free solution offered. So what made you kind of choose us over them?
Zello was not our free solution offered at the time that we signed the contract. So we used to have My Career Shines in Florida, and it was paid for about 20 years. And so the year that we signed and started investigating with SchooLinks was a year that come August, which is when school starts here, they said, we're not offering this anymore. And so districts that weren't already investigating other platforms had nothing for an entire year. And so luckily we were already in the works with SchooLinks. We were waiting because just because it's free doesn't mean that it's the best. And so you get what you pay for sometimes. And so we had already actually taken a look at Zello. And like I said, it's just not as robust, and it doesn't offer the same level of quality of care that SchooLinks offers. And so we are able to track a lot of things. We are able to schedule events with students district-wide. We're able to have students sign up for field trips district-wide, and then we have a list, and then we can do an exit survey and those sorts of things. Those aren't available on Zello. And so I think it's just important to know, how are you going to use the platform? And we are using it heavily. We have students log in every single day. Last summer, after our first year, I think we averaged about 30 students a day over the summer, and that's without teacher instruction, right? So students want to be in the platform, and that's a huge difference. And so we're not light users. I would consider us pretty heavy users, and that's really why we needed a heavy lifting platform that has a lot of abilities, capabilities, and can meet our needs where we're at, because we're really trying to move forward, and the way to move forward is digitally with our students.
That's fantastic. So we've talked a bit in the past about work-based learning, and can you just describe a little bit better about what Sarasota's initiative specifically for work-based learning? And then the second half to that is how does SchooLinks help support you?
Sure. So work-based learning by the state of Florida is defined as 6 different pathways. And so this year, the state, they passed a bill that said every student must have access to work-based learning. So not necessarily that they have to participate, but that they have access. And so we are making sure that they have access, they know about these programs, they can access them. And so we're doing that in a variety of ways. So we've got school-based enterprise, which means like the school has a business or something that goes on at school, whether that's the school store, or one of our schools, Northport, has Northport Prints, and they have like large printers and they print posters and create art and that sort of thing, but they collect money for their services. So that's a school-based enterprise, work-based learning. We also have clinicals, which kind of is self-explanatory, practicum, apprenticeships, on-the-job training, and internships. And so the on-the-job training and internships is really kind of our bread and butter with SchooLinks. And so those are audited courses that students take, typically in the senior year for 1 or more periods. And so the state has all sorts of paperwork that goes along with being in an internship or being in OJT. And so what we have done is we have created programs within SchooLinks. And so every teacher that has a section of either OJT or internship has these students in the program. And ultimately, all of their paperwork that the state is collecting is now digitized and sitting in SchooLinks, because our district is also moving towards digital cumulative files. And so now we have the digital OJT cumulative file as well, which is huge. Because then when those auditors come in, we can just give them everything that they need without them having to drive, miles and miles and miles across the district to get one paper folder or something like that. And so the other pieces that we love is students then every 2 weeks, maybe, I think it depends on the teacher, they're uploading their timesheets, they're uploading their reflections, they're uploading evidence of the work and talking about their learning. And so it's not just we're being compliant, we're going above and beyond and making them reflect on, okay, you're going to work in the CTE pathway, career and technical education pathway, and getting paid during the school day. Why is that important? What have you learned? Do you love it? Will you continue? So we really get some really rich data out of that, and that kind of informs our future programming and offerings.
When you guys were initially looking at a platform, were you looking for something that supported work-based learning specifically for that initiative of just kind of digitizing everything?
Yes, we were looking for that very closely. And there is another platform out there that only does work-based learning, but we couldn't go with that because that's not what we need. We also need lessons. We need the planning tool. Like, the planning is huge. And so we wanted the planning. We wanted, like I said, the best of all of the things. We wanted the planning tool and the accountability and, everything in between. And so that's really why we landed here. And honestly, that work-based learning team has been amazing because we have a lot of niche needs, and they have risen to the occasion and been like, yes, is this working? How about we try this? And so really it's been a dialogue and it's been a team effort, including our teachers. They've been great because we said, if there's something you need, let us know. And then I go and work with the WBL team, and Mike, honestly, and his team have been amazing. And so really we're tweaking it, and next year it's going to be even better than it was this year.
Did you take a look at Zello's at all, at their work-based learning solution? I haven't seen much of it.
So I asked to see it at a conference, and at this point it is a form. I don't even want to say repository because students can't upload forms. They can only download a paper form and print it out. And so that's kind of where we're at with that. And they know that you can do that on an LMS, a learning management system, or a teacher can just print out the papers. We don't need it to just be sitting somewhere. We need it to be active where we can download the data in a CSV and then pull out this many kids worked here, this many kids had an internship here. We can sort it by cluster. Like, the level of attention to detail is unmatched.
That's great. Can you speak to also what, I know this is kind of the first year going through this, what do you foresee or hope the impact is going to have on your student population, and then also your community in general, if you can speak to both of those?
So in terms of our student population, the impact of WBL, we're hoping is to grow and really have accountability, because we've learned that some students were placed in a course code and weren't actually leaving the school. And so by having these forms digitized, we are able to kind of see that and really enhance that experience for the students. And that's what we want. Is we're here for students, we're here to connect them to employers, we're here to help them plan their path for the rest of their lives. And even if that is, I did this internship and I hated it, that's a great learning experience and it cost them nothing other than time. They weren't paying tuition, those sorts of things. And so we want WBL to enhance the student experience, and this, personally as well as professionally. In terms of our community, I think our community is kind of excited about it, to be honest. They now, by creating their industry partner profile, they can post events, they can say that they're hiring. So the industry profile side is huge. And the fact that they get an email to say, can you verify this student's time card, or can you verify this student's reflection? That kind of takes the onus off of the employer, really, because they don't get that email until the student has done their part. So it's not like they're sitting around waiting, and they can click it and it's very quick. And so I think the community is really enjoying knowing how to connect directly with students without having to, call me. And I'm like, well, let me find out. And then I forget and don't follow up, or however that works.
Do you think too it's helped build relationships between your schools and your teachers who are trying to get more engagement opportunities? And do you think it's helped open doors between that connection between school and community?
I think it will next year. I think this year we were a little bit of a late start because of a couple of scheduling issues. And so I think next year, I think honestly in March, when we reopen the process for on the job training, because that's when the rising seniors will start scheduling. They have to apply into the program and all of that. I think that'll really be a unifying process for the teachers that are working on this together. I think the employers are going to be like, great, yes, it's never been easier to take an intern ever. Like we have to sign digitally now. I don't even have to go through all of the paperwork. And so I think the community is really excited. And I will say our industry partners went from like maybe 150 last year until we introduced WBL, and now we're over like 600. And so I think a lot of people are now in our industry partner database, which is fantastic because now we have all of these career clusters covered. We can reach out to them when we need something. They can reach out to us when they need something. So it's a cool platform for them.
That's great to hear.